Suppose you found out that the foundation you had built your house on was unstable. One option you would have would be to replace each of the individual boards and to try to fix the foundation one part at a time. On the other hand, you might think the best route would be just to knock the whole thing down and start from the bottom. This is what René Descartes does when he discovers that his whole worldview isn't quite as rationally sound as he thought it was. Now, think about it. Descartes says, when you're growing up, you acquire information from a bunch of different sources. Your parents, random authorities, your teachers, they all tell you things that you then just come to believe. You assume that they're true, but then later in life, you start questioning some of them and you find out maybe your worldview isn't as structurally sound as you thought. Descartes thinks the most important thing you can do when you find out that this is true is to try to start re-examining each of these beliefs if you can. And he uses a really interesting tool. It's called the method of doubt. And here's how it works. So Descartes says, okay, take one particular belief that you have, and now try to think of a reason why it might not be true. Now, this might be strange or counterintuitive, but what he's trying to do is he's trying to give you enough distance to really reflect on the source of that belief and on whether it is in fact true. If you can do this with all of your beliefs, eventually you will have thought through each and every one of them for yourself. Now, let's see how it works. It's kind of counterintuitive, like I said. So how about the belief that there is a mug in front of me? Now, it might seem like this is a particularly difficult belief to doubt, but Descartes says, no, not at all. Look, I could be dreaming right now. And if I'm dreaming, then things would appear to me in exactly the same way that they do right now, only there wouldn't actually be a mug right here on this table. So even our most basic perceptual beliefs, Descartes thinks, can be subject to doubt in this way. Now, Descartes is not purely deconstructive. He doesn't think like we should just get rid of all our beliefs and then be skeptics for the rest of our lives, just walking around saying, I don't know anything at all. No. After we get to the rational foundation, Descartes thinks we have to start the hard work of building the structure back up so that our foundation isn't unsound anymore. It's actually based on solid ground and it's structurally stable. Now, here's one trick that I think we can use, and it's in the spirit of Descartes' method of doubt, in order to re-examine some of our beliefs. Step one, find somebody who disagrees with you. Now, this might be counterintuitive. You might think, when pursuing the truth, it's best to do it in a group of like-minded people. But actually, people who disagree with you can be the most helpful in identifying premises or reasons to doubt some of the reasons or things that you think support the particular claim in question. Okay, so find somebody who disagrees with you, and then walk through the following steps. First, identify some of the reasons behind the disagreement. This is really important. We're not used to, in our culture, going deep into disagreement, especially with somebody who actually disagrees with us, right? We oftentimes like to say, well, here's my position. The other person says, well, no, here's my position. It's really crucial for this method to work that you lay out at some length why you think the thing you do is true. Next, ask the person that you're disagreeing with to hone in on one or two of the particular reasons that you've given and to give you reason to doubt them. Like, they should be good at this because, again, they disagree with the overarching claim, but if they can hone in and pick a particular reason that supports that overarching claim, you might get a little bit of critical distance on the claim itself. Now, here's what I want you to do. As soon as they tell you why they think one of the reasons you gave is false, just want you to repeat back as best you can their reasoning. So you think this is false because X, Y, Z. You don't have to argue. In fact, it's better that you don't argue. Just try to deeply listen and understand why it is that they disagree, not with the overall claim, but with this particular claim. Then switch. Let them say why they think the thing they do, and then go back and forth like this. Now, at the end of the day, you might think, this is a total waste of time. I didn't come to any new belief. I didn't discover whether my belief is true or false. And in the moment, that's right, you didn't. But a couple of days later, you might find yourself reflecting and think, look, the doubt, the sort of critical distance that you opened up, the ability that you gave yourself to reflect on the truth or the falsity of your original claim, that's going to provide you with one of two things. Either you're going to say, you know what, I'm even more certain now than I was a few days ago that this thing that I believe is true. Or you might find that you're reconsidering. You might find that you're actually changing your mind a little bit. And again, remember, this is a really good thing. Not because changing your mind is good in and of itself, but because if you're changing your mind in response to reasons that other people are giving you, then you're getting closer to the truth. And truth and philosophical argumentation is what we might call a cooperative game. If you and the person you disagree with, your philosophical opponent, each get closer to the truth as a result of engaging with one another, that's a win-win scenario.